The NFL MVP race has been very tight through the first 9 weeks. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Drake Maye are top 3 in terms of odds to win the award, but I don't think either of the 3 win it. Rather, I think it goes someone in the NFC West. No, not Sam Darnold, even though he's been elite this season. It's Matthew Stafford. Stafford is now in his 17th season at age 37. I think it's finally his time to win the MVP. We all know the Matthew Stafford story. Drafted number 1 of the poverty Detroit Lions, helped Calvin Johnson break the receiving yard record for his season. Detroit decided to go in a different direction and rebuild. Trade him to the Rams, he won a Super Bowl, helped Cooper Kupp get the Triple Crown and Super Bowl MVP. The Rams have been contenders almost every year Stafford's been in the building, outside of an injury-riddled 2022. To show you what Matthew Stafford's doing this season, let's take a look at 2024 first. 235.1 yards per game, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1.5 interception percentage, pretty solid stats for 16 games. But in 2025, he's already passed his touchdown total. Yes, he has 21 touchdowns through 8 games, and has halved his interception percentage, while only having 2 on the year. In case you were wondering, this is kind of one of those peculiar stats, but he's one of 4 quarterbacks to have 20 touchdowns or more and less than 3 interceptions through the first half of the year. Who are the other 3? Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. Matthew Stafford is 9th in EPA per play at .209, 6th in success rate at 52.5%, PFF's second highest graded quarterback with a passing grade of 91.7, 2nd in big time throw percentage at 7.1%, and has a 2.2 turnover-worthy play percentage. He's playing his best football of his career at 37 years old, and his past 5 games have also shown that. In his last 5, Stafford has thrown 16 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Yes, 16-0. Sure, there have been some easy games in there, like this past Sunday against the Saints, but these are still NFL defenses with NFL coaches he's going against every Sunday, and this team is a blocked field goal and a 4th-and-1 stop away from potentially being 8-0. The national media is not talking about Matthew Stafford winning the MVP. He has been the most underappreciated quarterback in the league since he was drafted, and that was one of my first videos I ever made on this channel, and hopefully now he can get the media recognition he deserves for the MVP award. What has he done so well this year that garners this type of talk? Let's dive into some plays, but before we do, if you want to take Matthew Stafford's higher on his passing yards, touchdowns, or whatever, there's no better place to do it than Underdog. Underdog is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on 2-day players' projections, and you can win some serious cash. Even better, when you play your first $5 and sign up with code Fanatics, you get $100 in bonus funds and a gimme pick. Again, that is code Fanatics for $100 in bonus funds and a gimme pick when you play your first $5. And if there's one thing that Stafford has been elite at his entire career, it's using his eyes to deceive the defense. He has never just stared down one guy. That's evident on this play versus the Colts. Indy has a 2-high safety look, so this could either be quarters or cover 2 based on the pre-snap look, and of course Matthew knew which one it was. At the snap, he's looking at Higbee on the flat route, so that holds the flat defender down, which creates space over top for Puka Nacua. And see, that defensive back's in a tough spot. If you stay too deep on this cover 2, it leaves an easy completion for the flat route and potentially can go for a first down. If you stay too shallow, Puka Nacua gets wide open for a big gain. What Stafford does is he holds him with his eyes. The corner bites down and he rips it to Puka for a 23-yard gain on the outside. And on that same drive, we get the Matthew Stafford no-look throw we've all grown to love. Higbee and Puka are both running digs but at different depths. Higbee runs an intermediate route while Puka runs a shallow one. Nick Cross is in a tough spot post-snap. He has to decide which route to cover, and he picks the wrong one because of Stafford's eyes. What Stafford does is he stares down Puka, causing Cross to bite down on the shallow route, and while still looking at Puka, no-looks it to Higbee downfield for a 16-yard gain. And this end of half drive would end in Davante Adams' 10-yard touchdown, led by the deceptiveness of Matthew Stafford and his eyes. I mean, who wouldn't want to get lost in those eyes? And just this past week against the New Orleans Saints, we saw a similar thing. 3rd and 12, gotta have it in third quarter up by 10. Stafford does it again. Kyren Williams slips out of the backfield and is wide open but very short of the sticks. A check down. He and Davante Adams haven't even hit their brakes yet, but Stafford is already winding his arm up to make the throw while staring down Kyren. This gets not 1, not 2, but 3 Saints defenders to bite. Even if it's the tiniest bite like Squidward with his first Krabby Patty, it'll create space for Davante Adams to catch this ball. If Justin Reed and Demario Davis do not come down just a few feet for Kyren, this ball most likely is not completed. But Stafford wasn't even looking at Davante Adams. He started his throwing motion before Adams even made his break on the dig route, which definitely aided the defense's thought process that it was going to go to the check down to Kyren. He no-looks it to Davante in the hole that he created using his eyes. Just a masterclass by Stafford on this play, making the defenders bite down. And again, the same thing against the Jaguars, who up until their game against the Rams were top 7 passing defense in terms of EPA. They, 1, had a bad game against LA, and 2 have suffered some injuries to key pieces like Devin Lloyd, Jordan Lewis, and Eric Murray, and I do think that their defense will get back to the top 10 category in terms of passing. So it's 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. They do a quick play action to Kyron, and he goes through his reads. His first read, Terrence Ferguson off the motion, is not open. So he moves to read 2, Davis Allen's little crosser, where he keeps his eyes the entire time. See, he notices that if he holds Eric Murray and gets him to bite down on Allen, he may have Konata Mumfield open in the back of the end zone. But there are 2 issues here. The first is that there's a free rusher coming at Stafford when he goes to his 2nd read. Matthew is known to be one of the toughest, grittiest quarterbacks of all time, always fighting through injuries, leading his team on the field when playing through pain, and still delivering, and this is one of those moments. A lot of quarterbacks would just fall down and accept the sack here, but Stafford knows he did job 1 of holding the safety, who bit down on Allen. The second issue at hand is that Mumfield isn't open when he releases the ball. Konata, though, creates separation with his cut inside, and Stafford, while getting hit, leads him perfectly towards the back of the end zone, layering it over both the safety and the corner for a perfect throw. 6 points for the Rams. This back shoulder ball to Davante Adams in week 1 against Derek Stingley was beautiful as well. 3rd and 3, Stingley's pressed up on Adams on this fade route, and as the ball is released, he's right there with him. But Stafford throws a back shoulder and creates separation with the ball to Davante. I talked about how Drake Maye is great at this, but Stafford's even better. Stingley thought he was in perfect position to make a play on this ball. I mean, he's running stride for stride with Davante Adams. That's very hard to do, but when you have a quarterback who can make high-level throws every single snap, you never know when you'll be thrown out of the play, and this is one of those moments. Thrown open with tight coverage to the back shoulder on the sideline. First down Rams, and a great adjustment to the ball by Davante Adams off of a great throw by Matthew Stafford. And keep in mind, this is a guy who didn't practice until 3 weeks before the season because of an injury to a disc in his back that is supposed to be monitored and managed all season long, and he's playing like this? Just wow. Now, we don't know how serious the back is nowadays. That was still a storyline that we had to follow earlier in the year, and might still be there. And this time against the 49ers, Tutu Atwell was also insane. Stafford spins out of the pressure to the left side of the field. He takes 1 step up in the pocket and doesn't even look to Tutu Atwell until he's just about to throw the ball, and throws it across the field from the 32-yard line to the opposing 20. 48 yards in the air, but that's not including it being thrown across the field. I'm not a mathematician, I don't know angles, just chill on me. And this was an absolute rope, leading Tutu to the sideline for a massive gain. Matthew Stafford has been doing this for almost 2 decades now, and still isn't getting the right amount of recognition by the national media, and sometimes those who do give him the credit do it as a pity for playing in Detroit for all those years. The Rams' offense has been elite to start the year, no thanks to the run game, which has struggled thus far. They're bottom half of the league in every box score category, but they're still a top 8 scoring offense on the season. The Rams have had an easy schedule thus far. They face the 2nd hardest schedule in the league for the rest of the season, playing Seattle twice, a great team led by another MVP candidate in Sam Darnold, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, again led by an MVP candidate in Baker Mayfield, the Detroit Lions, and San Francisco, but this is an elite team with stars and great coaching on both sides of the ball. They have the number 1 defense in terms of EPA per play and are allowing just 15.9 points per game. Some people might say, hey, this team is too good for Matthew Stafford to win the MVP, because they could be a great team without him, but that narrative has always been in bad faith. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and many more MVPs have all played on teams that are elite outside of themselves, and still won the award. Why? Because they are valuable to their team, and make their team flow, and take that team above their ceiling like no other replacement player would, and the offense is structured around them. It is not an offense that they have to fit into, people have to fit into their offense. It is a bad argument that I cannot, in good faith, let fly in these conversations, because Matthew Stafford has simply been elite in 2025, and through 9 weeks, he's the MVP in my books. But can he hold on to this title for the rest of the season? I guess we'll just have to find out.